Making headlines, Illinois civil rights organizations are preparing to take action against an executive order signed by President Donald Trump, attempting to roll back on diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives.
News Channel 20's Monique Davis is working for you to share what these plans entail. Monique?
That's right. I spoke to leaders from the American Civil Liberties Union, and they told me this executive order is an attempt to rewrite history.
The administration seems to want to dictate across the country the way we portray our history. Recognition of the site in Springfield for the 1908 race riot is an important recognition of a very dark time in our history.
The Springfield 1908 race riots consisted of a violent attack against Black Americans, which ended with innocent lives lost and burned businesses. The historical event led to the founding of the NAACP, which promotes equality. ACLU Policy Director Ed Yonka says he's not surprised Trump issued the order to end diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives.
This is part of a larger movement to sort of erase a reality about our society and not face it squarely in attempts to actually bring improvements both on the individual level but also on the systemic level.
The removal of DEI initiatives could trickle down to the education system after President Trump threatened to defund schools if U.S. history lessons included structural racism, a lesson Springfield knows all too well with the 1908 race riots.
Because they don't acknowledge that these things even occurred and don't want them taught in our schools.
Political science expert Kent Redfield says cities, municipalities, and the state of Illinois has the freedom to continue to push for diversity, equity, and inclusion.
You can do things that the federal government doesn't allow you to do in relation to something they control.
Now the ACLU says they will continue to study executive orders that could potentially harm Illinois, and they have already submitted a lawsuit against the Birthright Citizenship Executive Order. Reporting live in Springfield, I'm Monique Davis. Back to you.
Well, she added that it's important for state and local municipalities to advance minority businesses and applicants to address long-term systemic issues.
Making headlines, all federal employees in roles of diversity, equity, and inclusion will go on paid administration leave starting today. Yesterday, the Office of Personnel Management sent a memo to department and agency heads with a deadline to dismiss DEI employees. This comes as President Donald Trump signed an executive order ending federal DEI programs. Well, the American Civil Liberties Union says it is now up to the state of Illinois and local municipalities to make sure minorities are protected. News Channel 20's Monique Davis is working for you to share how organizations are preparing to protect the state. Monique?
That's right. I spoke to leaders from the American Civil Liberties Union, and they tell me this executive order is an attempt to dictate the way Americans portray history. Ed Yonka with the Illinois branch of ACLU says it's important for the state to advance minority businesses and applicants to address long-term systemic issues. According to the White House fact sheet, the reason President Trump's order is to roll back on placing race and gender into every aspect of life. Yonka says this order will now deny people a fair right to opportunities.
I think that we have a great concern for, unleashing the power of government to try to further drive divides in our society and deny opportunity to people who, once given the opportunity, tend to perform exceptionally well.
Yonka says the state of Illinois does not have to follow suit with the federal executive order. Now the ACLU says that they will continue to study the orders that could potentially affect Illinois. Reporting live in Springfield, I'm Monique Davis. Back to you.
Thanks, Monique. Now, Illinois has joined other states in a lawsuit against the Birthright Citizenship Executive Order.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch more videos from News Channel 20.